all, welcome to my channel Step by Step. My name is Khanam, and in this session I will be showing you complete roadmap to become React developer. I will tell you what are the things you have to learn, and in those things what are the topics you should be learning to become proper React developer. Before starting with React, let us understand requirements to get started with React. First thing, you should be having understanding of HTML, because when you start learning React, almost all the places you will be seeing HTML. Actually, it is not HTML. We will be using some other term for that. I will be showing you later. But you should be having understanding of HTML. Okay, it is a must. You should be having this requirement. Then you should be having CSS knowledge. If you're creating any website using React, then giving proper stylings, making the website responsive. So at least basic level of CSS you should be having in your portfolio. Then must skill you should be having is JavaScript. Whatever you are learning in JavaScript, almost all the concept we will be using in React. Why, I will be telling you in a minute. And if you are having good understanding of JavaScript, then learning React and understanding React will be very easy, and you can just master in 1 or 2 months. So good understanding of JavaScript is a must to get started with React. Even if you are not having good understanding of JavaScript, at least you should be having knowledge on ES6 features. Okay, it is also a part of JavaScript. So you should be having good understanding of this one, that is ECMAScript 6 features. You should be having understanding of DOM, document object model, and important API request. If you want to get some data, if you want to display the data in your browser from other server, if you want to get the data, how to send the request, how to get the data. So almost all the things related to API request, you can learn fetch, how to fetch the data. You can learn asynchronous JavaScript, async await functions, how to create. So there are many concepts you have to learn inside this API request. But it will be very handy if you learn JavaScript. If you are not aware of JavaScript, then first I suggest you to get started with JavaScript, so that learning React will be very easy and it will be very helpful. As soon as you finish learning JavaScript, or else at least if you are comfortable in JavaScript, then directly you can get started with React and easily you can understand all the concepts. So these are the requirements you should be having before getting into React. So regarding HTML, CSS and JavaScript, I have uploaded complete roadmap on my channel. If you want to get started, you can watch the video, you can make the plan, and accordingly you can get started in your web development journey. Now in next slide, I will be showing you why JavaScript is important in getting started with React. So React is nothing but it is a JavaScript library. So that is the reason JavaScript and understanding JavaScript is very important. So React is nothing but it is a JavaScript library to build single page applications. Now when I talk about single page application, Twitter is built using React. We have lots and lots of companies which are using React. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Dropbox, we have Airbnb. We have lots of bigger companies using React. So whenever you are visiting those websites, suppose you have home page, about page, and if you want to go to about page, only that particular content, whatever is present in about page, that will be loaded. An entire website will not be refreshed. So for those kind of website, we call it as single page applications. So if you want to build that kind of websites, for those we call it as single page applications, and React will go well with all those things. And now it is 2024 and still React is the best skill you should be having in a portfolio. You can build lots of projects using React. Once you learn React, you will understand the magic of front-end development. You will be having lots of projects in your resume and you can easily get the job of React developer. We have lots and lots of openings for this because bigger websites are using React, and nowadays even startups are getting started with React. So getting started and learning React is always a best choice and you will never regret it. Finally, let us start with a journey. I will be showing you step by step process how you can get started with React and what are the important topics you should be learning. And with these topics, you can easily build the products, you can easily build the projects, and you can put in your resume. First thing, you should understand what is React. As in a previous slide, I showed you React is a JavaScript library and it is used for front-end part. So apart from this, we have React will be using component based, it will be using JSX, it is declarative. So there are many other things you should be understanding about React. Then why React? We have JavaScript. We can do all the stuff using JavaScript. Then why should we use React? Okay, you should understand that. So you should understand the difference between writing code in vanilla JavaScript and writing code in React. Okay, if you only write JavaScript and if you create the website, you can easily create. But at one point, it will be very difficult to select all the elements, to manipulate the DOM and entire thing. But in React, we are not going to select any element. Okay, that is the best part. We will be using some concepts to update the state so that every time whenever user visits the website, based on the user requirement, data will be synced. So using this kind of libraries or using framework, we can easily sync the data according to user requirement. So you should understand this. It is very important before getting started with React. What is React? Why should we use React? Then comes JSX, JavaScript extension. So as I mentioned, for learning React, HTML is a must. So in React, we will be calling it as JSX. Whatever code we are going to write inside HTML, same we will be writing in React, but we will be calling it as JSX. And in React, we will be having functions and that function will be returning JSX and it will be similar to HTML. So you should be having understanding of JSX, props, very, very important. In React, everything is about components. And here I have mentioned components. Components is also a very important topic. Components you can just imagine as a library, book library. If you go to a library, for science books, you will be having one separate container. For commerce, for arts, for each and everything, we will be having separate containers. And all together, we will be calling it as a library. So similar way, whenever you are creating any website using React, for navbar, we will be having separate component. For header, we will have separate component. For sidebar, we will have separate component. For main body, we will have separate component. Footer, we will have separate component. For each and everything, we will be having separate component. And inside that also, there will be many other components. Imagine our entire React website is a parent and inside that we will be having children. So if you want to pass some data from parent to child, then we will be using props. So these concepts are very important. You should be having good understanding of these things. Then next comes React states. So when you are writing code using JavaScript, we can easily select HTML elements. We can modify the DOM. Basically, we can traverse the DOM. But when it comes to React, we are not going to select any HTML element. That is, we are not going to select any JSX. Directly, we will be using states. Using states, we can update the content, and behind the scene, React will not be updating the original DOM. It will be creating virtual DOM, and inside that, all the updation will be happened. So in this, you should be having understanding of lifecycle methods. You should also know rules to place states, where you should be placing the state, where you should not place the state inside if statements. Okay, those things you should be understanding. How to lift the states up. Now here, as I mentioned about props, props is read only. Data can only be passed from parent to child. From child to parent, I cannot pass any data, and inside child, I cannot change the data of props. So how we can lift the state using state, how we can change the data, and how that data can be passed as a prop to child. Okay, you should be understanding those visually, and you have to start learning those things. Then what are local versus global states? How to access the states? How to display the state? What are the features present in state? And what is UI versus remote state? So inside React state, we are having few more topics, but understanding this five topic is very important. Then React router. If you're making any website, definitely you will be having lots of pages. For that, you should learn about React router. Using React router, how we can build that kind of structure. Then comes state management. After implementing simple projects, then you should be having understanding of how do I manage state so that I can provide the state to my entire application. So for that you can learn context API, or you can learn Redux, or you can learn Redux toolkit, and also you can learn about use reducer hook. React query also widely used for state management. So you can learn all these things and you can create amazing websites. I suggest you to learn all these things, and in whichever you are comfortable, whichever you feel that is easy for you, you can choose among them. There is no good choice or bad choice. It should always depend on your comfortability. Whatever you want to create, whatever you want to see in your projects, you should be selecting those topics. Then comes component styling. You should be having basic knowledge on CSS before getting started with React. Along with that, you should be having understanding of component styling. So there are multiple ways of designing things in React. We have styled components. You can also learn Tailwind, and you can learn how to give stylings to our website using Tailwind, using styled components, using CSS modules, and also you can learn about SAS preprocessor, and you can learn about inline and external CSS. Inline is very rarely used, only based on condition we will be displaying the data. But external CSS, if you want to create separate CSS file, in that if you want to write CSS and if you want to link, that is your choice. But apart from that, we have multiple styling options. So style component is nothing but it is just a library to write whatever CSS we will be writing in separate file. We can write CSS in JavaScript, and using the styled components, we can build custom components in React. So there are multiple ways of selecting this one. But if you want to write CSS in JavaScript, then this is a good technique because your entire CSS code you can write in JavaScript file. Okay, and also you can learn with Tailwind. If you learn Tailwind, you will be having lots of advantages. You can create easy website, but mostly when you are beginner and you have just started creating simple projects, then you can definitely go with inline or external CSS. Later on, as you are upgrading yourself, you can upgrade the skills as well. Then fifth thing, you should be having understanding of how React is working behind the scene. If React is not updating the DOM, how it is updating, then you should be having knowledge on virtual DOM. What is fiber tree? What are the events? What is state batching? So apart from this, there are many other concepts, but to understand how React is working behind the scene, you should be having knowledge on these four concepts. Then finally, using all this, you can create amazing projects. You can create clocks, you can create counters, you can create simple to-do list app, you can create simple websites where you will be using all React routers. You can also use lifecycle methods. You can use states to update the data, and also you can use state management concept to create amazing website. So only using this concept, you can create amazing and complete dynamic website. Once you are familiar with all this concept, once you are ready with the project by using all those concepts, then only go to the next section. And this will be forms and controlled components. How to create forms in React, how the data will be changed, how to pass events, how to change the events. You should be learning almost entire thing about forms. Then comes React hooks, and inside this, these are some of the topics you should be learning. What is use effect hook? How to fetch the data? What is lifecycle versus synchronization? When to use effects? Now suppose if you created a website selecting some random codes, and as soon as you refresh your website, at least one code should be visible. For that, you will be using use effect. Using this use effect, as soon as you refresh, something will be visible in your website. So for those kind of things, you will be using use effect. And also you can learn differences between events versus effects. Rules of hooks. Okay, so there are some of the rules present in hooks. So you should be understanding about hooks. So you should just memorize about those rules, because in your larger projects you will be using hooks almost every time. Then how they will be working, what is the behind. Okay, you should be understanding BTS of hooks, that is behind the scenes, how it will be working an entire thing, as well as you can create your custom hooks. So you should know how to build super usable custom hooks. Then React patterns. So there are some of the patterns present in React. You can learn how to render props, higher order components, compound components. As of now, I am not going to explain you all the topics, but these are the topics you should be learning step by step, so that all these things you can combine and you can build one amazing project. Then comes React performance optimization. If you want to increase the performance of React, how to reduce wasted renders, you should be having knowledge on this. Memoization with memo, we have use memo, use callback, and also we can optimize context API and optimize the performance of React. When you learn this concept, you will be surprised to know what are the things you are wasting in React, what are the renders which are not used at all. And also maybe if you are already started React, there when you download React developer tool, we will be having component and profiler. So when you learn about this concept, then profiler tab will be very useful. We can see all the performance. We can see how many times it is getting rendered. If it is not used, then we can easily remove that. How to use memo, how to use call memo, when to use. So to implement all those things, you should be having knowledge on these concepts. Then these are some of the extra skills. As I mentioned, React is a JavaScript library. So inside the React, we are not having some of the things for data fetching, for routing. We should be using other libraries. But to make it server side rendering, and for all those things, we can learn React framework. We have Next.js and we have Remix. You can get started with any one of this. I would suggest start with Next.js. React is a front-end library and it will be running on client side. If you want to do server side rendering, then you have to learn React frameworks. And also you can get started with GraphQL or Apollo client. These are the advanced features. Once you are comfortable with React, once you are able to build the projects by yourself, once you are able to apply the concepts, only then get started with this GraphQL and Apollo client. GraphQL is nothing but it is an open source data query. Using this, we can manipulate language for APIs. We can do lot of things. So what GraphQL will be doing? It will be enabling declarative data fetching. So where client can specify exactly what data it needs from an API. For those things, you can learn GraphQL, and this Apollo client is nothing but it is also a state management library for JavaScript. This will be enabling both local and remote data with GraphQL. So both together they will be working. You can learn about those things only when you are comfortable with React. Then comes projects. You can make this simple 5 projects. You can make complete dynamic website. Data is stored in some. You can use some backend. You can learn MongoDB, or else you can use Firebase. You can use Superbase. So those tools you can use, and you can create complete dynamic website. You can create e-commerce website. Creating and implementing e-commerce website with any programming language is always a best choice, because you will be having lots of features. You will be having add to cart buttons, how to do payment, how to fill the forms. You will be having almost entire thing only in e-commerce website. You can make a simple blog app where user can enter the comments, where user can enter the comments, where user can give the feedbacks, where you can reply. You can create simple authorization, sign up or login forms. You can create weather app and also hotel website. User can order the food based on the status. The data has to be updated, in progress or delivered or on the way. You will have lots of options. So accordingly, you can create the project whichever you feel that you are comfortable. And after learning all those concepts, if you feel confident that yes, now you can get started with project, you can build one complete dynamic website using React. And these are some of the advantages of React: speed, flexibility, it is very flexible, performance, okay, React performance is very good, usability, okay, once if you create the component and if the same structure is used in another project, then you can just copy and paste that one. So components are reusable, easy to learn. If you're having good understanding of JavaScript, then learning React is very, very easy, and you can just learn in 1 to 2 months or even less than that. Then SEO friendly. There are many other advantages of learning React. So these are few of them. Once you get started with React, once you start creating projects, definitely you will be surprised to see what React is. After creating the project, you will definitely be proud of yourself because because you have learned the skill which is just going to expand in future. React is not going to end, it is just going to expand. New versions will be coming, new features will be getting added, and almost entire thing what all you think in your mind you can easily build using React. And very important to know, you have to explore diverse projects. You should be building lots and lots of projects. You should engage with people, collaborate with people. There are many pages and there are many groups in many social media platforms. You can join that. You should continuously upgrade yourself, bring new ideas, implement those using React. Just expand your knowledge and push yourself to always learn new things and always keep yourself upgraded. If the React version is getting upgraded, what are the things added or what are the things it is removed? You should always upgrade yourself. Just take 10 to 15 minutes, see what all new things have released, learn about that, see what are the advantages of using that, where to use that, how to use that. So you should always upgrade yourself with technology. You should always move along with the technology. Only then you can stand with technology. Once you learn all these things, once you learn advanced concept, then you will be confident enough to get started in your career. You can easily apply for job and you can easily get the job of React developer. So it is very important, keep practicing, keep making projects. Unless and until you are satisfied with the project, keep on improving the project, make best out of it. So that's all for this section. I hope you understood how to start the plan. What are the things you should be learning in React to become successful React developer? Most important thing is there are many people who can guide you, but implementing and sticking to those things, sticking to your dreams, making your dreams come true completely depends on you. You should be making the choice and you should always follow what you are doing. So that's all for today's section. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.